Turn the mics on. Ready on that?
Yep.
Good evening and welcome to the June 17th Glenville Town Board meeting. Please rise for the invocation and pledge allegiance. Join me a few minutes. Pray that you would guide us and direct us, help us to govern with integrity and honesty and serve our community in a meaningful way. Lead us and guide us. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Cook.
Here.
Councilman Galooly.
Here.
Councilman Ferrara.
Here.
Councilman Watson.
Here.
Supervisor Kirkham.
Here. Thank you. We will now move to town council reports, and I will start on my left with Councilman Ferrara.
First, I participated in the fire services meeting on May 28th. They announced and planned for their grand opening of the new Glenville Fire Training Center, which will take place on June 20th, which is Saturday. And at 8 a.m. it will begin. A ribbon cutting ceremony will commence at 10, and it should wrap up around 12. We'll have over 50 participants from our town's fire districts and feature demonstrations of their new propane fire props and other training apparatus. Alpha's Fire Department will also be hosting their firefighter competition and block party on July 3rd. Their annual 4th of July parade will follow Saturday, July 4th. We encourage everyone to participate in these events. Today I participated in a traffic safety committee meeting. They discussed changing Thomas Corners and into a roundabout. We also discussed developing policies and regarding striping of roads throughout Glenville. And we spoke about signage at some of our parks and how to address it regarding vehicles being left there and closing the parks where people are safe and they're taken care of. And that's all I have for this day.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Watson.
Yeah, well, thank you. It was very nice to see the food pantry down by First National Bank of Scotia. About 100 people, I was told, had showed up for that, and they rotate every Wednesday night during the summertime between here and their fellow bank in the village. Real quick, what I'll add on this for anybody out there, especially on the streaming, if you're watching, you got to go to the Outlaws Parade. That is a bucket lister. I tell people all the time, there are events all over the place. There is nothing like the Outlaws Parade. It is a great time. It's a great family event. The party beforehand, the night before, that's usually the residents. People in the fire district usually come to that. It is a good time, but the fire competition, if you get a chance to see that, they also, I don't know if you mentioned that, they also have the kids parade or the kids show night beforehand. So those things are all sandwiched in. It is a great time. Absolutely. Please, ladies and gentlemen out there, get to the Outlaws Parade at least once in your life. You won't regret it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. I'm assuming that you feel a little bit passionate about that because you.
Oh, no. I just wanted to make sure I just got it in. That's all. Just
it is a great time, and I know that there are plenty of great parties going on as well, and certainly I'm sure we'll be there marching as well.
the Watson Lawn is always open to anybody who wants to see it. So there you go.
Thank you, Councilman.
You got it.
Councilman Galooly.
Yeah, I just want to say that the GECC meeting for May was canceled. The next meeting is this coming Monday, 22nd at 7 p.m. in the Mel Bartlett Conference Room, and it's open to the public.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Cook.
Speaking of parades, it's been a while since we've had a meeting, but since then we did walk in the Scotia Memorial Day Parade. We also walked in the Burnt Hills Flag Day Parade recently. It was great to get out and engage with the community. And then we attended the Memorial Day service down in Legacy Park, which was a great service for anybody who was able to come. And that's all I have.
Fabulous. Well, you guys basically reported on a lot of the stuff that I was going to talk about. I will, in invite folks again to the groundbreaking ceremony this Saturday for our training facility out on the Bly Road Extension. Hopefully all of you can come, and if there's anybody out there who would like to come, who is watching, please feel free to come and see what's happening with this great investment happening in your community. Something that just brings technology to our firefighters and updates them with all of the essential training that they need. So certainly it's extremely crucial. I will add that I'm delighted that bulk item pickup, I feel, was a big success. We just finished it off this past Saturday. I don't know exactly the amount of tonnage that we took away. Things did run much smoother this past Saturday. People seem to be very happy. I want to really commend County Waste, their employees, also our highway employees who handle support, and our police department. Fabulous job done by all. Very, very well attended event. So that's really all I have for supervisors' comments right now. So we'll move to our agenda, and we'll move to privilege of the floor. So I'll open up the privilege of the floor. Clerk, a minute, see if anybody has signed up. Nobody has signed up for privilege of the floor. So if anybody is wanting to address the board on any topic, please step up to the podium, state your name and address. Anybody wishing to address the board? Anyone wishing to address the board at privilege of the floor? Anyone wishing to address the board at privilege of the floor? Seeing none? Privilege of the floor is now closed. We'll move to our agenda items, and we'll start with number 6. And this is a public hearing, and this is going to be held concerning local law 3-2026, amending chapter 270 of the zoning code, section 270-3 and 270.24.2, related to allow the use in Freeman's Bridge Road corridor for the town code in the town of Glenville. I will now open that public hearing, and anyone wishing to address the board concerning this public hearing. Is there anyone wishing to address the board? Is there anyone wishing to address the board? Seeing none, I know that our town planner, Christine, will like to make a few brief remarks. So give me 1 second. Let me change this camera. Okay.
Good evening. My name is Christine Cremiano, and I am the principal planner for the town of Glenville. Tonight's proposed legislation is all about supporting economic development in the town. First, I request a consideration for zoning amendments to the Freeman's Bridge Road corridor. We are always looking at our commercial corridors and discussing different ideas to support smart economic development. Freeman's Bridge Road is a perfect example of underutilized commercially zoned land that should be incentivized for economic growth. There are several lots that have very deep backlots that are adjacent to the airport or other large commercial development sites. So in order to attract businesses that need a lot of space to develop and grow, but don't necessarily need the frontage for visibility, we propose adding warehousing and light manufacturing uses as allowable uses in the Freeman's Bridge Road corridor. Additionally, we have included dimensional requirements, including setback requirements, height restrictions, design standards, and the requirement to obtain a conditional use permit from the Planning and Zoning Commission. Thank you for consideration of this legislation.
Thank you. And thank you for all the work on preparing this as well. Is there anyone else wishing to address the board with this public hearing? Seeing none, we'll close that public hearing. We'll move to agenda item number 7. And this is a public hearing for any individuals interested in being heard about the local law 4-2026, amending 270 zoning code, section 270-3 and 270-69, related to electronic message center, EMC, for the town code in the town of Glenville. We'll now move to open that public hearing. And anyone wishing to address the board, please, yes, ma'am, please step up to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Hello, my name's Judy Reitmeyer.
Judy, can you spell that for me?
Sure. Rightmyer.
Hang on, I had a little bit of comments from the gallery.
Did you get it again? You wanted it again?
Yeah, you last me.
Rightmyer. And I live at 18 Valina Drive in Burn Hills.
Thank you.
I believe that's voting district number 18. I figured out. I know, right south of the county line. So anyways, I'm here tonight to voice my opposition to the proposed local law 4/2026, which would change the town zoning code to allow electronic messaging centers in Glenville's town center district. This winter, I was able to take an extended road trip to visit some national parks out west and in the southwest. We stayed in some really beautiful communities such as Golden, Colorado and Moab, Utah. And we could tell that there was thought and planning had gone into making those communities really vibrant, really sustainable and accessible for all. We also witnessed what could happen when municipalities do not plan well for development. In Rapid City, South Dakota, in St. Cloud, Minnesota, the excessive number of large digital signage and billboards made driving through their main thoroughfare really dangerous and distracting. It seems those municipalities were serving the needs of the businesses, not their community members and residents. When we returned home, I was grateful that our town has placed sensible limits on business signage. I'm grateful that we have municipal policies that make our town, and particularly our town center, a relatively safe and accessible place to shop, to eat, and to gather. I've lived in this town for more than 6 decades, and I'm here because I really appreciate this balance between this rural, suburban, and village life. I do not want to see like the good work that's happened from the planning that has happened to keep our community accessible, to keep it a little, with that small town kind of feel. I don't want to see that work undone by putting distracting, light polluting electronic signage up in our town center. And, as a footnote, I have had concerns about the electronic messaging signs that are currently up just outside the town center, the ones with, for example, Black Dog Outdoor Sports and Fogg's Automotive. I remember even calling the town supervisor way back when Fogg's put that sign up, thinking, I don't think that belongs in our town, and I don't think it matches the town code as I read it. So that's just something that's certainly there for people with better understanding of the town code. But I have concerns about the signage like those that exist, but particularly to this law, I really do not want to see this happen because I want to keep our community the way it looks and actually do things that might even improve it, like better walkability and bikeability. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judy. I appreciate that. Anyone else wishing to address the board on this public hearing? Sir, step up to the podium, state your name and address, please. Thank you.
My name's Ed Capovani. I live at 832 Church Road in the town. First off, I appreciate the effort that you guys put into writing all of this. It's very comprehensive, covers a lot. But I also am opposed to the digital signage. I've been a resident here for 54 years. I operate a small business in the town for over 40 years. So I've seen the town develop over the years, and I'll tell you what, the planning that has gone into the town really shows, right? We have nice, sidewalks, bus stops. We could use more restaurants. Everyone wants that, but my thing is I'm opposed because, like Ms. Reitmeyer, I want to keep the current landscape. It's a nice community. It's not, this business corridor that everyone comes to. It has that small town feel. And that's important to me. And I would imagine a lot of the, community members. I have just a few points that, I was just thinking about. So, they have that phrase, once you let the genie out of the bottle, good luck getting it back in. Same thing here, right? So today it starts. We have signs, 2 people have them. Okay. Have you thought about what happens 10, 20 years out when there's 30 of them and they're everywhere? Right? What's that going to look like? You know, I live up in where I live on the firehouse near us. They have one. Do you know how loud they are? How much heat they generate? Right? So people just walking by them, they're going to be loud, right? Because they need to be cooled. So there's that consideration. So once they're there, they're going to be there forever, right? And businesses invest a lot of money. They're not going to want to give up their signs. So it's going to be very hard for us if we decide that, hey, you know, this isn't working out. We want to get rid of them. Good luck, right? It's going to be difficult. The ordinance itself tells me that, boy, you guys had like 2 pages, a good page and a half of restrictions, right? Governing the brightness, dimming, transition speeds, display timing, background colors, curfew, malfunction, manual overrides. So if a sign requires this much regulation, I think it's worth asking, does it belong? Right? Do we really need it? So that tells me that there's problems with signage like this. If you have to put that much regulation in place, people don't want this. So that's one point. The other thing I was thinking is, what are we trying to solve? What's the problem? Are businesses not getting enough business? Do they need digital signs for messaging to attract more business? I noticed that, you know, you can't have a scrolling sign and so on, but to me, it doesn't make sense. Given social media, you know, everything, this should be like the last resort that we even think about, right? So I think in today's landscape, businesses can attract business through other ulterior motives that do not require this. So to the lady's point, it changes the whole landscape, right? Now you have distractions. I know you're going to have dark backgrounds. You're going to limit certain colors and so on, but still it's going to be a distraction. So health and safety, right? It's going to affect that. The other thing is the character. We have that beautiful analog clock. Now we're going to have that beautiful analog clock on the corner of 50 and Glenridge, and now we're going to have digital signage. I mean, what is it? Are we 21st century, or are we a nice community that has, you know, the current look and feel as we do? So it's easy to change it, right? It's easy to lose our character. Once it's gone, right? So we can't get it back. Was there a study done? You know, like I was referring to, the public need. You know, I would think something, a big change like this that you're proposing, there's not a lot of people here. I didn't, you know, I heard about it. Now, I was speaking with Julie and how you announce it. Boy, with social media, you would think it would have been on Facebook, or what are those things, what are those home things? My wife's on that thing. Nextdoor, whatever. You know what I mean? None of that. I mean, nobody knew it. Look at this is going to change our whole landscape, and there's what, 15 people here, if that? So I appreciate what you're trying to do. As a business person, yeah, I get it, right? These businesses need to be viable. They pay tax, right? I understand that. But one of the reasons many of us choose to live in Glenville is because it feels like a town rather than a commercial strip. And I hope we continue to make decisions that we can preserve this. I appreciate your time and the opportunity.
Thank you. Appreciate your comments. Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to address the board concerning this public hearing? Please come up to the podium, state your name, address.
My name's Tom Wheeler. I'm the owner of AJ Signs. Address is 842 Saratoga
Sorry,
Road.
Tom. Did you get that?
Tom Wheeler from AJ Sign.
Thank you.
Can you just give me your address?
Yep, it's 842 Saratoga Road, Burr Hills.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I grew up in, I started out on Whitbeck Drive in Glenville, then I moved to Burr Hills, and now I live up on Route 50 in Boston Spa. So I'm local for my whole life. I do own AJ Signs, and I've seen the evolution of signs the last 30 years I've been involved. You know, we started out with a lot of hand-carved signs, things have evolved, lit signs, and now digital has really become a major thing. Digital signs don't have to be ugly, and it's not bringing in the devil. Definitely something that can be done right. There's a lot of different brands you can buy for a digital sign. You can get something super cheap that's going to be bright, it's going to be broken, it's going to do all the wrong things. Put it on 2 posts and have just an ugly, bright digital sign. Or you can buy a more expensive American-made digital sign. Daktronics and Watchfire are 2 of the best brands out there. That's what we typically use. They have features built in that keep them classy. Auto dimming, for example. So it's got an ambient light sensor. So at night, that sign's only going to run at about 5%. During the day, when it's bright and sunny, it'll run at 100%, so it can be seen through the sun. They're LED. LEDs have a short throw, so it's not like a flashlight or a headlight that's a beam of light, where it just lights up. It has a light sensor, so it makes it so you can read it, but it's not shining light far. Much less light than your street lights, less than your headlights, less than the things around it. It's really just made to be read. Some of the other features that are nice, it's all computer controlled, so you can shut it off. We recommend to our customers, shut it off at 11 o'clock at night. There's no reason to have it on from 11 to 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning. You're going to save energy, save your sign, and why have that light on? So the fact that they can do that is nice, whereas other signs and lights you can't always shut off like this. Another thing we like to do, we like to not just put a simple sign on 2 sticks. We like to build it into a cabinet or a surround. So it's got typically an aluminum surround. Burr Hills Fire Department is a classic example. It has the Burr Hills Fire Department letters on top. They are pushed through, so it's an aluminum face. The letters are pushed through in acrylic, so just the letters light up. And then it has the digital sign below it, all encased in a cabinet. So you can shut that digital sign off and you still have the Burr Hills Fire Department letters on at night if you wanted to. These are all the things that we've done over the years to try to keep them classy. We've even built digital signs with a wood carved header cabinet. So again, bring in that classic feel that everybody likes in Glenville. So we're not trying to take away the Glenville town feel that you guys have created over the last few years. You've done a great job with. We're trying to enhance that, help businesses, community events and messaging. You can set these so that if there's an amber alert, that'll take over your sign. You'll have your amber alert on the sign. Weather emergencies, weather forecasts, things like that are all built into the software and can automatically come on. Some of the things that we've seen over the years, an example that I like to share, Dunkin' Donuts, at the end of the day, somewhere in the U.S., they put their donuts on the sign before they're going to throw them away. They'd sell out of donuts, all those donuts. So instead of throwing them away, those donuts would be on the sign, they reduce them in price and sell them. So they do work. Dairy Queen is another one. They did a study where they put a product on the sign. They'd sell 30% more of that product the week it was on the sign than post or prior weeks. So people do notice these. It is effective for businesses. It's a great way to communicate with people driving by. Not everybody's on Facebook. You're not going to get an impulse buy on Facebook. People need to see it on the sign, like those donuts that they're going to throw away, pull in and buy them. So you're not letting the devil in the Glenville. You're definitely helping and enhancing and just modernizing signs. The code's written well. It has the restrictions in place that it needs to be effective.
Thank you. Appreciate your remarks. Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to step up to the podium and state your name and address.
Sorry, I have asthma, and I think that maybe they just cleaned the floors, so I might be a little wheezy. My name is Caroline Welch Webster. I live at 14 Glorious Lane, Glenville, and I'm a member of the Small Business Economic Development Committee. Okay, the business development corridor in Glenville Town Center is specifically intended to attract investment, create jobs, and support commerce. Electronic message centers provide businesses with a modern, cost-effective way to communicate with residents and visitors. According to Google and the New York State Department of Transportation statistics, the volume of cars driving on Route 50 in this area out there is approximately 18 to 20,000 cars per day. That's a lot of cars. With electronic message centers, businesses have the opportunity to bring in new customers from those people passing through Glenville on their way to other places. Not only can these signs help attract customers, they can also be used for businesses to promote specials and seasonal offerings, community events, and important announcements instantly. This flexibility helps local businesses compete with larger retailers and businesses and communities that already use modern signage. The increase in tax revenue generated by the thriving business districts helps to fund public services, infrastructure improvements, parks and community programs, and helps our homeowners keep their property taxes steady or decrease. The presence of electronic messaging centers does not automatically create an urban or commercialized appearance. Small town character is defined by factors such as historic architecture, walkability, community relationships, local ownership, and attractive streetscapes, not solely by the type of sign technology used. With the use of EMCs limited to designated business development corridors, the town can maintain the traditional appearance of neighborhoods and downtown areas while allowing commercial areas to evolve with modern needs. Electronic message centers can serve more than commercial purposes. They can also display information about local festivals, charity events, school activities, emergency notifications, and civic announcements. In many communities, EMCs become valuable communication tools to help residents stay informed and connected. You, sir, I'm sorry, I forgot your name. We're talking about social media, and I have gone completely off social media. So the only way I know about things that are happening in Glenville is on that sign by the bank. Otherwise I don't hear about what's happening. So I think for me, it's really incredibly important to be able to see what is happening in our community. We also have right now, we have a decline in newspaper readership. And so people aren't getting their news about what's happening in town through the newspapers anymore. EMCs can help strengthen our community identity by promoting these local events and highlighting our activities that make towns unique. Here in Glenville, we have a few unique opportunities because we have the hockey rink that people come to. We have the cricket ground down on Route 5 that I think is the only one in the state. And we have people coming to Glenville specifically for these things. If we can attract people when they're driving through Glenville with our story on these electronic messaging centers, then we may encourage people to come back to Glenville at another time and visit us and spend their money here. A parent at the hockey rink might see one of the signs and decide what restaurant they want to go to for dinner once they see what the specials are after their game. They may want to come back at a different time to see what we have in our shops. If they see, we were talking about the black dog, if they see the sign on the black dog and they see that there's something that they want there, they may come back specifically to visit that store. So I think that the important thing is that we balance the technology with the community standards. So the key is really thoughtful regulation, which I think that this code does. The town can adopt standards that preserve the aesthetics while also allowing the businesses the opportunity to benefit from modern signage. Just because they have the option to put the sign up doesn't mean that they're going to put the sign up. And some of the restrictions, the limited brightness, especially at night, restricting the requirement for automatic dimming, prohibition of rapidly changing messages, establishment of minimum display times between message changes, setting the size limits appropriate for the corridor, making sure that the landscaping and architectural compatibility is compatible to everything that we have in Glenville, I think that makes sure that they remain attractive and they don't become distracting or intrusive. What we really want to do is we want to attract businesses to Glenville. We want to help them decide they want to locate here. We want them to find their home here. Glenville, I've lived in Glenville for my entire life. I grew up down by the river. My dad was at First National for his entire career. I'm Glenville born and bred through and through, except 5 years in Japan. Glenville for my entire life has always been really good for businesses. It has been a great place for somebody to grow their own individual community business. And when selecting a location, we want businesses to be able to compare their opportunities in other locations to Glenville and see that we can offer them as much or more than other places can offer them. A town that embraces reasonable modern signs is very business friendly while it's still valuing its heritage. Communities that prohibit contemporary communication tools may unintentionally place businesses at a disadvantage and discourage economic development opportunities. We want our businesses to have every opportunity to be competitive at a time when it's easier to order online, shop at a big box store, order from a chain restaurant. We want people to know what's happening in our community, in our stores, in our town, in our home. So I think that electronic message centers are in designated business development corridors represent a balanced approach to growth. They help local businesses succeed, improve communication with residents, and support economic development while preserving a small town feel that residents value. With appropriate design standards and local restrictions, a town can embrace modern technology without sacrificing its character, proving that progress and tradition can coexist successfully. And ma'am, I'm sorry, you mentioned being distracting to traffic. I think with 18,000 cars to 20,000 cars, I think it actually becomes a little safer with the signage because people can see where they're going. So it would stop abrupt lane changes, abrupt stops, abrupt turns. So I think that it could actually be helpful in terms of traffic management. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak at this public hearing? We have a letter that was submitted that our town clerk, Julie, will read into the record.
Dated June 16, 2026, 30 Banker Avenue, Glenville, New York, 12302. To Supervisor Bob Kirkham Jr., Town of Glenville Town Hall, 18 Glenridge Road, Glenville, New York, 12302, regarding proposed amendments to the Town of Glenville Town Code relating to the regulation of electronic message centers, EMCs. Dear Supervisor Kirkham and members of the Town Board, I am writing this letter in lieu of an appearance at the board meeting on Wednesday, June 17, 2026. Unfortunately, I have a conflict and am unable to provide comments on a reference amendment in person. Briefly and to the point, I write in favor of the proposed amendments and urge unanimous approval of the proposed amendments in their entirety. The reasons are as follows. 1. The amendments provide access by our in-town businesses to this valuable technology. The amendments will aid their competitive edge through offering effective, reasonable opportunities to advertise their goods and services. 2. The amendments include reasonable and effective protections that will ensure the environs around the EMC are protected and character of the area will not be compromised. The justifications for offering this opinion are based on my career in the fields of municipal planning, zoning, and economic development. Over my 40-year career as a certified planner through the American Planning Association, I assisted municipalities across upstate New York in the development of comprehensive plans, zoning ordinances, land use codes, and their related administration. Additionally, I have lived in Glenville for the last 25 years and have served on the Glenville Small Business and Economic Development Committee, member and chair, the Glenville Local Development Corporation as board member and chair, and the town board for 2 terms as a council member. Lastly, I'm currently a member of the Town Planning and Zoning Commission, PZZ. It is noteworthy that the PZZ unanimously voted to recommend approval of the amendment as written. This recommendation was sent on to the town board. Thank you for your consideration. Sincerely, James and Martin.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak at this public hearing? I do know that our planner would like to make a few remarks as well.
I apologize in advance for repeating some of the things that previous speakers have said, so I'll keep it brief. But tonight, my department presents to you legislation to allow electronic message centers in the town center overlay. We have carefully crafted this code amendment with three main goals in mind. One, maintaining the community character that is known in Glenville. Two, maintaining a pedestrian scale for signage through size, rate of change, and brightness restrictions. And three, supporting economic development and business growth through modern advertising technology. Over the past few months, we have analyzed codes from neighboring municipalities, examined our existing code on Freeman's Bridge Road, and added standards and restrictions such as auto dimming and brightness, automatic curfew from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m., design requirements such as ground-mounted signage only, and size restrictions capped at 12 square feet and 6 feet tall. These regulations support economic development by enabling businesses with the means to reach their customers through the latest technology. Not only will businesses be able to be identified and advertised in a unique, modern way, but as mentioned before, they will have the capability to display emergency notifications like Amber Alerts, severe weather warnings, and other possible traffic-related emergencies. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak at the public hearing? Is there anyone else wishing to speak at the public hearing? Last call. Anyone else wishing to speak at the public hearing? That is closed. We'll now move on to, I already did supervisor's comments, so we'll move on to our normal meeting, and we'll move on to resolution number 9. This is a resolution adopting the proposed local law 3-2026, amending amending chapter 270 of the zoning code, section 270-3 and 270.24.2, related to the allowable use in the Freeman's Bridge corridor in the town of Glenville. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? I certainly think that this was explained well by our town planner within the context of the public hearing. I will just add that I do believe that as we look at making strong investments in our community, this is just another perfect example of taking property in a corridor that is a business corridor, property that is backlot property that would be underutilized, and identifying it and making an opportunity for some economic growth where it otherwise would probably sit for a long, long time. I think it'll add to the tax base. It'll add residents to our community with hopefully high-paying jobs, which will also enhance our businesses as well. That's all I have. Is there any other comments? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Galuli,
Yes.
Councilman Ferrara,
Yes.
Councilman Watson,
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis.
Yes. That passes. On to number 10, a resolution adopting the proposed local law 4-2026, amending the chapter 270 of the zoning code, section 270-3 and 270-69, related to the electronic message center, EMC, in the town of Glenville. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
And do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and second. Is there any discussion?
Yes. First, what I'd like to say is I support our local businesses and I understand the intent behind this proposal. However, I believe we are not yet ready to move forward with a zoning change of this significance. The Town Center Overlay District was created to preserve the character, aesthetics, and long-term vision of our town center. And this proposal could fundamentally change that character. This resolution represents a major shift from our existing sign regulations and would create a precedent for similar requests throughout other areas of our town. I also have concerns about the long-term enforcement, oversight, and whether this proposal is fully in line with our town of Glenville comprehensive plan. I believe this requires much more discussion and collaboration with business owners, residents, planning representatives, and local sign professionals before any permanent code changes can be considered. At this point, I do not believe we have done enough work to justify moving forward with this proposal.
Thank you, Councilman. Is there any other?
Yeah. I like the way some of it is written. I like the regulations. I like the size requirements. I like it a lot. I don't like it for town center. I like it for the existing areas where we already have the message centers. I like some of the regulations and think they could look great on Freeman's Bridge Road. I think it gives us an opportunity to look at the existing allowable use on Freeman's Bridge Road, and it gives us an opportunity to look at the existing signs. If you head north from Thomas Corners on Route 50, there's no uniformity in the electronic message centers. It basically looks like Glen Vegas down there. They all look different. Everything's a different size. Everything's a different shape. I think there's an opportunity for us to address that and look at it moving forward before we add any more areas that we allow electronic message centers in the town. And that's my opinion.
Thank you, Councilman. I do like that term, Glen Vegas. That's pretty catchy. But I will say that I totally agree with you to a certain extent. I believe that that's exactly why we've created this. That's exactly why we've identified bringing uniformity and consistency to a code that we are going to implement. There is absolutely no uniformity in some of the EMCs that are currently out there. We did pass probably, I'd have to look back in the records, but I believe it was probably a year and a half ago, we passed a code change with the Freeman's Bridge Road corridor. And just to everybody's, I know they're going to be astounded by this, but not a single sign has gone up yet. So it's not like people are rushing to put up EMCs. I just think that this is a vital way for us to advance as a community. I understand the wanting to preserve the things and the qualities like Judy talked about. I do appreciate your remarks, and as a supervisor, I'm committed to making those investments to walkability, quality of life issues in our community. We've proven that. We have created a town center that is walkable. We've created walkable communities where you can come out of a community and go to the dog park. You can come out of a community and go to another park. We're creating another park in itself, a little pocket park that has a walking trail. Mawick has a walking park. So we are invested in creating policies that protects and preserves the character of our community. You know, we're a very diverse community. We have rural agriculture, and then we have, residential. I would never ever think of putting something like this into a mixed use area. The reality is that we're talking about a town center that consists of primarily corporate stores. We have a Target, we have a Panera, we have a Chipotle, we have 3 supermarkets, we have multiple banks. I think that this is already beyond a small town community feel. We have 18,000 vehicles that travel this corridor on a daily basis. We have over 30,000 residents in this community. I embrace wholeheartedly preserving and protecting the integrity. And I think that's why all of the thoughtfulness went into writing this code and putting those specific particular regulations around a monument mounted sign to add consistency and uniformity to what we're going to bring into our community. If people even choose to do this, they will all look pretty uniform. They'll be ground mounted. They have a height restriction of, I believe, 6 feet. Correct me if I'm wrong, Christine. They have a frequency of change of 1 minute, so it's not like a passerby is going to see multiple messages. It does have some of the things that we talked about. It's going to have a shut-off period from 11 p.m. in the evening until 6 a.m. Those signs will shut off. I don't believe that it's going to change the landscape. Sir, you talked about an analog clock being down at Town Center. I'll point out right next to that analog clock is an LED messaging board. I do realize that it's utilized for community events and community announcements, but I do believe that our businesses should be given the same opportunity to have messaging that's appropriate to support their business. I think that it would be short-sighted not to give every business in our community every advantage for success. I certainly want to create a community where people are happy to live here. They embrace what we're doing in the community. I do believe that there was a lot of intense thoughtfulness that was put into this, and I would be opposed to it as well if I felt like it was going to adversely affect our community. If you come up the Route 50 corridor, I think you're pointing out very much. I'm not going to name the businesses because we're on a recording, but I think if you drive from Mohawk Honda to Chipotle, you can identify some messaging signs that are large, and you can also go from Aldi's up Route 50, and you can identify messaging boards that are large, and there's no uniformity. We're looking to do this in the corridor from Chipotle to Aldi's specifically. It is a commercial business corridor, and we are looking to bring uniformity to it. That's all I have. I do feel like I just do want to add that I have lived in this community a long time. My family lives in this community. I do value this community. I would never do something to jeopardize the integrity of what we're trying to build here in this community.
I just have a couple things. First, I'd like to express my appreciation for members of the community coming out and speaking in our public hearing. I've been on the town board for 2.5 years now. I can probably count on one hand how many times anybody has come up to speak at the podium. Without telling you my age, I've lived in this town and village for 54 years. But I'm not sold on this change in the zoning law, the code. Also, I don't know if I missed something, but were we advised that the BZC recommended this unanimously? This is the first I heard it.
They sent it out. They should have sent it out.
Okay. First I heard of it was tonight. So I'm not sold on it. I think we need more discussion. That's my opinion. People aren't rushing out to put these signs up. I don't want to rush out and change our code without further discussion, because obviously there's some constituents on the board. I'm not done.
Okay, I thought you were done.
Fellow town board members are feeling the same way. So that's my opinion.
Are you done, Councilman?
I am finished now. Thank you, Supervisor.
And I respect and appreciate how fellow town board members, feel about this. I will tell you, though, that this was put out to you guys months ago, and we discussed it also in a work session. So as far as timeliness and appropriate, time for you guys to react to this, ample time has been given.
We are going to react to this in a few minutes when we vote on it.
I understand that, and this will be certainly yep. I do understand that.
The first time we saw this was when it went on the agenda to schedule the public hearing. And then we did have a work session to talk about it after the public hearing had already been scheduled. Yes, that was back in early May or April, but there was no discussion about it before the public hearing was scheduled. So at that point, we didn't have as much
Councilman,
time.
do you
to
have
react.
access to our planning department and our planner?
We don't need to go through this every time we have discussions about timeliness, Bob, yes, we do have access to everybody in this town hall,
Okay,
okay?
I understand, but I'm
But
not gonna.
each of us on this town board also works full-time as well during the week, so our time is limited as to our access, okay?
Understood.
We don't need to be lectured every time.
Understood, Councilman. I'm not lecturing you. I'm just saying that you've had the opportunity to get all the information that you've required.
I feel lectured every time you bring it up.
Well, I'm not lecturing you. Maybe a phone call and asking for information would be advisable. Okay? So, any other discussion?
Yeah, I got one. Can we cut this crap out? Because every time I come into one of these meetings, and I've been dealing with other stuff this week with other issues. And all I get is anytime somebody asks something, everybody gets an attitude. And that's not how you get things done. So can we cut this garbage out and just treat, no Supervisor. Can we just cut this out and just try to work together? I'm listening to everything you're saying. I am listening to everything you're saying, and I am in agreement where you're coming from. But I'm also listening to what everybody else is saying. And when we say we're going to work for the community, 1, 2, those are the only people that came out for this. Nobody knows this is going on. No one has an idea of what's happening around here. And again, it's no fault to anybody else. I'm not accusing anybody, okay? But when you're working as a team and you are competing to make your place good, I'm using a sports analogy. Sorry, everybody, all right, if you don't understand. But as we are working as a team, when we don't get something done right, we have to go back and look and ask ourselves, why is there only 2 people here? Or if we're using the live stream, maybe people need to type in and chime in. I mean, I don't know if you're going to open that up, but I also will say this on behalf of the supervisor. The people who did get to speak tonight, if you go anywhere else, your 3 minutes is up and you're gone. Board meetings and whatnot, you've given people ample time to talk. Everybody's doing the right thing here for the community. We just got to stop this piss and match stuff and just work together. But yes, the communication is not as, I'm on the zoning board liaison. I didn't hear anything from them until I started asking about a couple weeks ago. So I love hearing from Jim Martin. I think what Jim Martin is saying, and I respect him greatly, when he says that stuff that he was saying, I took that very into consideration. But only 2 people from the community came out. That's not right. And we need to look back and instead of arguing with each other, understand that, hey, you know what? Maybe tonight's not the night. Maybe we need to table this. Maybe we need to move on for a second so all the work that the planning department put into it can be validated. But also the community needs to be validated too. And I know there's a lot of people that have opinions on it because I ask people. But you know what I'm saying? Hold on. I will tell you when I am done. I appreciate it, but please stop doing that. Okay? Love you, but enough. Please reach out to your neighbors and tell them. All right? Send an email, send a letter. They're putting a lot of time in. They're really working their tail off to make this place great. We just need to come together. Now I'm done.
Thank you, Councilman. So there's a motion, a second. Is there any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, will clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Cook,
No.
Councilman Delude,
No for now.
Councilman Ferraro, Councilman Watson,
No for now.
Supervisor Kirkham.
Yes. We'll now move on to the next resolution, and that is a resolution accepting the 2026 water and sewer user roll fee. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second? Is there any discussion on it? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Delude,
Yes.
Councilman Ferraro,
Yes.
Councilman Watson,
Yes.
Supervisor Kirkham.
Yes, on to 12, a resolution authorizing the hire of 1 additional seasonal parks worker. Do I have a motion?
Yes.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? I will just say that our parks workers do an amazing job. Our seasonal workers do an amazing job as well in assisting with the workload and volume that happens during the mowing season And most of the time, these are young individuals who are either just out of school or going to school and serve our community in a very meaningful way. Is there any further discussion?
Yeah, Mrs. Hill was touched on this at the work session last week. And it says it on here. There is a part-time position, but we have received no applications. And this is intention to fill that so we essentially get full staffing levels for the Parks Department. I think it's a good idea.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Cook?
Yes.
Councilman Blue?
Yes.
Councilman Ferrara?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Supervisor Kirkland?
Yes. On to 13, a resolution authorizing the supervisor to execute the Burnt Hills Boston Lake SRO agreement for the 26-27 school year. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
And do I have a second?
Second.
Moved, seconded, and thirded. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, it'll be the same on the next resolution. I think the SROs are a valuable resource for the community. I think it's a great program, and I think we should do what we can to continue the program forward.
I appreciate that. Any further discussion?
Yeah, we just hope that the Scotia School District accepts the next one.
I think we're
I'm
good.
setting the table there. All
I
right,
think
go
we're
ahead.
good. Yeah. All right. Any further discussion? I'll just add that, again, I'll echo the comments of Councilman Cook. They do provide a vital resource and role, more than just a police officer presence in a community school. They really interact in a meaningful way, and I do know that Officer Mag serves as our SRO up in Burnt Hills, Boston Lake, and does a fabulous job in interacting with our children. So, any further discussion?
Yeah, I just have a question regarding reimbursement. Is there a set amount or is it a percentage or
I will.
is it the full amount? Does anybody know?
I'll let our comptroller speak to that.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I know I looked through, I didn't see it. I was just, if it's in there, I'll look again.
Is there
All right, no problem. Thank you.
any further discussion? Seeing none, clerk please call the roll.
Councilman Cook?
Yes.
Councilman Blue?
Yes.
Councilman Ferrara?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Supervisor Kirkland?
Yes. On to number 14, a resolution authorizing the supervisor to execute the Scotia Glenville Central School District SRO agreement for the 26-27 year. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. And is there any discussion? Again, I think we could echo exactly the same sentiments as far as the vital necessity of having an SRO in our schools. I do know that Officer Paluba serves in Scotia Glenville along with an SRO from the Scotia Police Force, Officer Ecker, and they do a tremendous job as well. So I appreciate the fine work that they're doing in our schools. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Cook?
Yes.
Councilman Blue?
Yes.
Councilman Ferrara?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Absolutely, yes.
Supervisor Kirkland?
Yes, on to 15. This is a resolution confirming the town will abide by the following all existing New York State and federal laws and regulations within the New York State right of way for the Harriet Tubman Underground Railroad and support the byway along the New York State Route 5 corridor. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
And do I have a second? Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I appreciate the work that you've been doing. I know you've come up here once and you were down in the village at least once or twice and back up here again. Definitely, there's a lot of legwork that's gone into this. And I think it's a great way to continue to preserve the beauty of the corridor. And I think it'll be a good motion going forward.
Thank you, John. Any further comments? Sage, I do appreciate you coming out again. It's been great communicating with you. Certainly, we do believe that this is a worthy project as well. We appreciate your efforts in really bringing this to light and also really bringing this to fruition. So much success as hopefully we take our vote to support this. Is there any further comments? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Cook?
Yes.
Councilman Blue?
Yes.
Councilman Ferrara?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Supervisor Kirkland?
Yes.
On to number 16, a resolution approving the minutes of the regular town board meeting held on May 6, 2026. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
And is there any discussion on that? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Cook?
Yes.
Councilman Baloo?
Yes.
Councilman Ferraro?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Supervisor Cookham?
Yes. On to 17, a resolution approving the monthly reports for April 2026. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Cook?
Yes.
Councilman Baloo?
Yes.
Councilman Ferraro?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Supervisor Cookham?
Yes. On to 18, a resolution approving the monthly reports for May of 2026. Do I have a motion? And do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Cook?
Yes.
Councilman Baloo?
Yes.
Councilman Ferraro?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Supervisor Cookham?
Yes. On to number 19, new business, and I will start on my left with Councilman Ferraro. Councilman Watson.
Again, thank you for the community members coming out, everyone else here tonight. And again, I just hope moving forward that we can, just do things better every day. Just get 1% better every day. Thank you.
Councilman Baloo
Nothing tonight.
and Councilman Cook.
No new business.
I have nothing as well. We will now move to number 20 on our agenda for this evening. We will move into executive session to discuss a personnel matter about a specific person and to discuss pending litigation. We will return from executive session. There will be no further business conducted, public business for the evening. We are going to take a motion to go into executive session, and then when we come out, we're going to just close the meeting. So certainly if you folks want to stay around, you're welcome to, but no other business will be taken. Thank you for coming out this evening. And do I have a motion to move into executive session?
I'll move it.
And do I have a second?
Second.
And we are going to executive session.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know what it'll be, but, probably not. Because And I will there's so many regulations, legally, or the ADA, something like that, and the land use, doesn't have an important and keep component. Really, because I would have thought that doing my street platform for them, what I was supposed to do, I think it's going to be now. And here's the requirement how quickly you need to respond to this too. Yeah. Like, all these others in my day, that you respond and have. So, and I'm very, I'm so happy. Everybody knows how to do this, is on TV shows like that.
Oh, yeah, that's a great show.
Great show. I don't tell you, I haven't seen that show. Oh, I like to see that show. Work show.
Really got better. Oh, so bad. So bad. She was the assistant director. Nick Hoffman played Hoff. Yeah. Oh.
Well, I use it for it.
It is a compliment.
Yeah. And I think, I also, and, because out there. I found out. You know, I'm frustrated that they know that we have to do this. And probably I agree. And I'm looking at that, I don't want to be. And so, I'm going to come off and do and I was also out and I do that. Yeah, so it's going to be a mistake. I really want to do it because seeing the community, now, probably right now, 17, and that would be the past year. And unfortunately, I was they will be in here with all these other sites. So you're always in this same class. No.
told less.
why people are pushing for it, you know, and what sometimes what are trying to address. Then people can make up their own approach, how they're actually come from one place, I would say. But yeah. Like, you take that much time, it's not easy to start, really like, it's something important, you want to take that time, but also it's something important. But it's very, it's not, they've heard, you know, with all the other people that came up later, like, oh, now people are using why they want to, but none of that is done in advance. I'm kidding. Yeah, I know, I've only done all the way to, what's that called? Yeah. And then you just train from yeah. And then you like the rest for. I didn't know we checked on the road you know, the ride that goes across the street from there. I'm just so cozy. I know you need to work on that part, but they certainly should. Nothing. So you know, but I'm sorry, you can go all the way. I think you like all the way. So the music is white mall, we can do for that. Yeah, send them. Come by with. Yeah. And then it was at the same time. So I mean, I'm sure it needed to be that there weren't but really still working. Yeah, I'm glad I did. Down to New York City, down to the
No, it's one. Oh, yeah. So, take care, guys. Nice meeting you.
Yeah. So we just came out of executive session, so I'll take a motion to end the executive session.
Motion to adjourn.
No, motion.
And it's executive session. I'm sorry about that.
Do I have a second?
I'll second to end executive session.
Executive session is ended. We will now take a motion to adjourn our normal meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
I'll second the
All in
motion to
favor,
adjourn as
say
well.
aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Perfect.